Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and I'm back here to bring you more content from Reddit. That's right, it's time to talk about nice guys once again. Nice guys are those gentlemen who always finish last. They maintain that they're the nicest guy you'll ever meet, but their actions overall call this into question. They generally use this character trait to try to impress women, but they aren't very happy if it doesn't work. Anyway, let's get started with nice guys from Reddit. First, we're heading over to Reddit Nice Guys to read some posts. This dude who sexually harassed my fiancé, explaining why he's not like other guys. My views on dating / and on my behalf for women, an apology letter. I feel like these days, and overall, it gets worse as time flies. Most guys, when they see a woman they like, their mindset is, I like her and I want to get in her pants in the long run. As for myself and other gentlemen that I know of, when we see a woman we like, we want to take care of her. I like to apologize to you women for jerk guys that have hurt you and damaged your hearts, causing trust issues, etc., all of that. You don't deserve that at all, period. You have my support. This guy would probably apologize for all other men 1,000 times before he ever apologized for anything he did. The reason they bring up the trust issues so much is because it's the one thing they see to detriment them. It was those fuckboys messing with her head before I got there. She's exactly like 99% of the world's female population today. Asks for a nice guy but treats him horribly, thinks he's not man enough, calls him weak, wimp, untrustworthy, etc. just because he cares about her opinions and words. Then she finds a wild troglodyte, thinking that he's an alpha male and he will protect her at all costs. Now you know why most men around the world would choose to go MGTOW or even incel. I feel like being nice doesn't necessarily mean you have to be spineless. Also, are most men MGTOW or incel? That is quite a claim. I don't even know anyone who's MGTOW. Nice guy. I am thinking back to the days when I was single, and remember how the girls would always reject the nice guys. I do not know why they do these things. People like me treat them so well and they abandon us or put us into the friend zone for no reason. I am upset in the remembrance of this. I reflect on this and the much dissatisfaction I feel. Women need to give nice guys a chance. We mice guys feel strong for defending and respecting women. NKT, all of us guys are the same and we deserve chances. We could make them happy, but they refuse us nice gentlemen. This is why I am glad I am no longer single. The females today make it so hard for them to be obtained as they seem so picky-pocky with their hatred of good true gentlemen who are honest and kind. Change this fact of yourself, ladies. Give nice men a chance. I was lucky enough to escape this curse, but other men are the not as such is lucky. According to the comments, his girlfriend is actually a cartoon character. This might have been surprising at some point in my life, but the internet is a crazy place. Unhealthy ego overhaul for women. Females use this app to abuse the hearts of guys by taking advantage of their emotions. This app shines light on the real society. Men are the ones who get used and abused to make a shallow lady happy by filling her empty mindset. Honestly, if this app doesn't find a way to sort females out, then I don't think there is an appropriate app or online way to find love. You know, when I need to feed my ego, I just release a video. My comments section's pretty positive. Feel free to insult me sometimes instead. But anyway, now is the time for us to head over to Reddit Nice Guy Stories, which is of course a place for you too to leave your stories about nice guys. Peer pressured into dating the nice guy. Hi everybody, this is my first post on Reddit. During quarantine, I've spent loads of time watching Reddit videos on YouTube. I would highly recommend Tim Tam Tom if anyone is interested, and was inspired to share my own experiences with a nice guy. So a little introduction. The story takes place a few years ago when I was 16 and 17. My friends and I had just started our junior year of high school. I'd only been friends with them for a year or so, one of which was our nice guy. Let's call him M. M and I hadn't spoken much over my time in the group, apart from a few awkward conversations at lunch. I wouldn't really call him a friend, more of a mutual acquaintance. By the start of school, a lot of people had hinted at me that M had a bit of a crush on me in sophomore year, but I didn't think anything of it. Big mistake. A lot of new kids joined our school in junior year, and among them was a guy called Lewis. He was put in my math class and we hit it off straight away. I don't want to sound cliche, but it was love at first sight. We had so much in common, and he was so smart and funny. As he was new to the school, he decided to hang out with my group of friends and asked for my phone number. M didn't like any of this, one bit. As soon as Lewis left, M exploded at me. M. Hey OP, what's so special about him that means he gets your phone number? Are you into him? Me. What? He's new and is trying to make new friends. Get off my case. M. Well, I guess if he's not special, then I guess you'll have no problem giving me your phone number too. I didn't want to give M my number, but I also didn't want anyone to know that I was starting to like Lewis. After he kept teasing me, I gave him my number. Later that night, I realized my mistake. M messaged me constantly, morning, noon, and night. He'd always been kinda quiet, so I didn't expect him to text me so obsessively. He always wanted to know where I was or what I was doing. Every time I tried to stop replying, he'd go crazy, saying that he needed to know where I was to make sure I was okay. I think I mentioned how much I hate this the other day. I wouldn't be able to deal with a girlfriend who wanted to keep track of me at all times, let alone some random-ass person who just got a hold of my number. The only time I got any peace was at school, especially around Lewis. Whenever he showed up, M would go silent and just glare at him for hours. Lewis and I usually sat together and had our own conversations, even holding hands occasionally. M hated it. He asked me if I was going to date Lewis, and I said it depended on whether or not Lewis was going to ask me out. This gave M a very bad idea. Although M had been silent around Lewis before, now he was like a bodyguard. He insisted on walking me home from school, sitting next to me all the time, and going to every party I was invited to. He didn't want to give Lewis the chance to talk to me, but Lewis was still pretty open that he liked me. God, I feel like everyone's been pretty open with how they feel about things, and this guy just doesn't want to accept it. But is there even another option? I mean, if a girl likes someone else, how are you going to force her to date you? Well, let's keep reading and find out. Then one day, M snapped. He asked me to go with him to town for an emergency. He sat me on a bench and told me that he had been in love with me for a year, and that all our awkward conversations had meant so much to him, and he thought we had a real connection. He also said that my mental health issues, I was dealing with depression and anxiety, were hot, which really offended me. I told him I appreciated him telling me, but I wasn't interested in him. I told him that he needed to stop following me around and texting all the time. He stormed off and I didn't see him until a few days later. Over the next few days I tried messaging Lewis, but he didn't seem to want to talk. Eventually he said he didn't want to see me anymore, and that he didn't like me. I was crushed. I tried talking to my friends, but they told me I should have given M a chance. M, unsurprisingly, was an ass about the situation, giving it all the usual nice guy crap. I would never treat you like that. You're a queen, you deserve better. Not all men are like him, I'm different. All my friends seemed to agree with him, that M was the best option for me. Eventually they started getting more threatening, telling me that if I didn't at least give M a shot, they didn't want to be friends with me. I know, they're terrible friends. I gave in and M arranged a date. My first date was horrible. It was at a crappy burger place in our town. M spent the whole night talking about himself. The only time he gave me a compliment was on saying that my boobs looked good in my dress. I regretted going as soon as I left the house. I knew I wasn't over Lewis, and I knew that I'd been pressured into going on the date. At the end of the night, I tried to walk home alone, but M grabbed my face and kissed me. I was horrified. It took all my power to not have a panic attack right there. He grabbed my arms, holding them to my sides, and told me that he was going to walk me home. I felt so relieved when we got to my house. I wanted to forget the night forever. As I went to say an awkward goodbye, M invited himself in and pulled me straight to the sofa. I asked him why he wasn't going home, but he said he had a surprise planned. I had no choice but to follow as he dragged me to sit next to him. As soon as I did, he pulled me on top of him and began groping me and kissing me again. I tried to scream into his mouth and push him away, but he kept grabbing at me. He only stopped when he heard someone in the hallway. I told him to get out of my house. I didn't want to see him again. M and I never went on another date, but I still had to see him. My friends couldn't understand why I didn't want a second date. He'd told them that it had been a huge success. I began to cut off my friendships with them. I threw myself into school, work, and therapy, and eventually recovered from depression. The M thing was a huge setback. I decided not to tell anyone about it. All my friends had known him forever and thought he was a great guy, and it was his word against mine. M contacted me about it and said I shouldn't be mad at him because he deserved to do that to me because he'd liked me for over a year. I blocked him on everything. Jesus Christ, what a scumbag. On the first date, too. Hey, I've got a surprise for you. Your very own Me Too story. A few months later, I ended up getting back in touch with Lewis. He'd heard that I'd had a really tough time with the group and we started talking again. Apparently, M had made everyone kick him out of the group and had told him that M and I were a couple, so he had to stay away from me. I was shocked. I couldn't believe that M had lied. I told Lewis what had happened to me with M, and he supported me. We started dating about 2 years ago, and we've been together ever since. I'm at uni now in a different city, but I've been home during coronavirus to be with my family. I saw M a few days ago in town. Apparently these days he refers to me as that depressed bitch and tells everyone that I let him on. Considering he likes to act all tough, he turned and walked the other way down the street to get away from me. As for me, I'm much happier since I got rid of him. Hopefully he will be my last encounter with a nice guy who's that evil. Wow, is that a shitty friends group or what? Imagine your friend group giving you an ultimatum that if you don't go on a date with someone, they'll stop talking to you. If that ever happens, make sure you tell them to fuck off. They definitely deserve it. Okay, we have a bit of time, so let's read one more post from a nice guy who's very mad about spending money on a first date. No, sorry, this week is very busy for me. You want to hang out during weekday? No, sorry, I'll be working. Which day works for you? I'll let you pick the day. I'll let you know when my schedule opens up. Okay. Hey, how are you? Did your schedule open up? Look, it was nice meeting you, but I don't think there's a connection here. I wish you well and good luck with everything. It's all about eating and drinking on my money and then flee. Ridiculous, women. What money, dude? I paid for my own meal. You idiot. I got you the pina colada and the drink at my place. You are a liar on top. You paid $1 for a virgin pina colada and gave me an airplane shot with warm water? LOL, you think I'd waste an hour of my time to scam $5 out of a guy? I try to be polite and you call me names? I guess I dodged a bullet. Pina colada was $5.50, an airplane shot is $4. That's $9.50. Dumb, you can't even calculate. It was warm water, but the drink was real. What did you offer me? Nothing, period. You just seem to scam guys and then change color like Chameleon. You owe me money. I went out of my way to hang out with you on a date that you requested, LMAO. I don't know you shit. If you're that broke, then don't date, dude. You idiot. That's how a scammer talks. I went out with you and wasted my time. You are broke, that's why you could not pay for your stuff and I paid for it. LMAO, I don't need anyone's $10. I do very well for myself. If I wanted to scam dudes, I'd be out in the city getting Balmain bags, not scoring warm shots at Jack Daniels. Lol. That's why you didn't want to pay. It's clear you are not getting paid well and scam guys. Many must have been scammed already. Your ego is out of control. I bet you believed it when your mom told you any girl would be lucky to have you, huh? Definitely don't want a loser, liar, and broke scammer like you. I was taking care of you and you screwed yourself, and that's why you are single. Haha, okay, I'm more than happy to spend the rest of my days exactly as I am than ever have to suffer through another date with a guy who thinks that a pineapple smoothie and a shot of JD, which I told you I didn't want by the way, and a takeout meal that I paid for on a damp lawn while he talks about himself and rambles about the view for 2 hours is somehow charming. I honestly thought you were just out of touch, but now I see that you're actually just an asshole. Good luck with your mommy setting you up with some desperate... I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Because that's honestly the only way you'll ever get a girl to stay. The term I didn't try to pronounce is, I guess, Indian for uneducated girl from the village. Basically, she's saying that the only way he'll ever not be single is if his mom sets him up with an arranged marriage. Because that's something they do in India. But more importantly, you're of course not entitled to reimbursement for the first date if they don't want a second one. Can you imagine making this big of a fool of yourself over $10? And then he's here arguing the exact amount. I'd be feeling pretty lucky that at least it was a really cheap date. I know I spent more than that on booze last night. Anyway, it's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you have something to say, you should let me know in the comments. I always appreciate that. If you're new here and like the video, consider subscribing so you can see whatever else I'm about to talk about. I'll catch up to my old channel and subscribers someday. I'd also like to thank my generous patrons. I'll be doing that by name here very soon, but not right now. They help me a lot to not have to censor myself, which is something I value in a channel. Thanks also once again to Abby. I've promised a few things that I haven't done yet, including talking about the unfortunate would-be incel bomber Cole Carini, and a video reading Lucas Werner posts. We'll be getting to those things very soon, but let's call it a day for now. Have a great day, everyone, and try not to give your friends too much influence over who you date. It's really your business.